Hello, and this is my individual progress update for Sprint 2 for the group sync. So to start off with a breakdown of labor that I've done over these last two sprints. So I worked on a bunch more actual different features that I've worked on over these last two sprints, and I'll be able to break down which ones I've actually completed and which ones I'm still currently working on. So going into the ones that I've completed already, the first one I did was moving the QR feature up to a widget. The way it was set up in the app previously, it was taking up too much space in the calendar side of the app, and it was causing everything to be too cluttered, so we decided to move it up to a sandwich bar in the top right. That one I completed by myself. I didn't have to work with anyone for that, and we estimated for about two story points, which I was able to complete, and took me about 2 hours to finish it. Second thing I worked on was actually creating a QR share option for iOS. So that way, when someone creates a project and they go in and save it, they'll have the option to share their project either via QR or they can share it with another option, with the share option, which will be that it'll show them a drop-down menu that will give them the option to send it via email. They can copy it and send it via text message, all through different iOS options. That was estimated about 5 story points, and I was able to complete that, and it took me 180 minutes. The third thing that I worked on was refactoring the project page. Before it was called the events page, and the way it was formatted, it didn't really actually fit with how our app was going to look. It looked a lot more like a tutorial app and not really like an app that would actually work for the MVP. So I went and refactored and restyled it so that way it actually fits with the actual mold of our app and made it better suited for it. This estimated about 8 story points, which I was able to complete and took me 360 minutes. The fourth thing I worked on was adding a recurring event time to projects. That way, when a user creates a project, they'll be able to set if they want these projects to be a continuous thing or if they want it to be a one-time thing. If they do, then they'll just won't select the time. If they want it to be a recurring thing, it gives them the option to choose what days and what times they want the projects to keep coming out. This was estimated to be about 5 story points, which I was able to complete, and it took me 240 minutes to do. Fifth thing I'm working on currently is saving email to user provider. This just allows users to save their email to their accounts, even if the app is closed. Once you sign in and save and log in with your email, the system will remember that and keep you logged in on that email. Right now, it's estimated about 3 story points. So far, I've worked on it for 120 minutes. The next thing I'm working on right now is allowing users to join the projects via QR code. So, like I said before, that there's two options for people to scan into the projects. You can either get sent a link via the email or text, or you can scan in through via QR code, which will be sent over to the Firestore and they'll be added in as a member. Right now, I'm still working on getting that fully implemented. It's estimated about 5 story points, and I've worked on it for 240 minutes. The final thing that I've been working on is connecting QR to student and professor schedule. For that, it's going to be a part of our calendar, and once this account, the student or professor adds their calendar into the actual app, then there's going to be a QR option so that students or other users are able to scan that and get a full downloaded version of either the student or the professor's full schedule. Right now, it's estimated to be about 5 story points, and I spent 180 minutes working on it so far. So in total, over these past two sprints, it was estimated to do 33 story points, and so far completed 20, and I spent 1,500 minutes on it so far. In terms of the demo, the two things I'll be showing off will be the project page that I revamped, as well as some new QR info. So this is what our app will look like once you log in from the home screen, and what we'll be looking at today is this page. This is the projects page. It's a lot changed from the first individual sprint. It used to just have a button that would just show two buttons that would have create an event and you could RSVP for events. This I streamlined it so that it made more sense and wasn't as complex and you'd have to go through too many options. Here, when you click inside of an event, this is what it looks like inside. You'll be able to see the date that it was created, how many people can join, how many people are currently in it, as well as being able to scan the QR to join the event. Like I said, I'm working on this right now. Right now, it just leads you to an empty domain, so it's not actually connected. And here is where you go to set the event for recurring. So if you go and actually click on a recurring event, you can choose which days that you want to actually set that day for, as well as the date that you want to choose it for. And you can select the time that you want to actually set the recurring time for, and you can save it in the schedule. So for the homework 3, let's say we want to do Tuesday and Sunday at 3:32, and then for today, let's set it for 20th, recurring event. Save the schedule. It'll say schedule saved successfully. And if we go over to the Firebase, you actually check inside of the database, inside of our events. You're able to see homework 3, Tuesday and Sunday at 3:32, and it's saved right inside the event. And so here you'll be able to search for the projects and make sure it's actually all in case sensitive so that if you search for something that's not even listed anywhere, so we do know projects start with V, you're not going to be able to see anything. It'll say no projects found. And if you were to search for homework 3, you'll be able to see it pop up right here. So here, all here, it's all listed in a scroll view. You'll be able to create an event here. Just enter the name, it will create that event. And when you go inside one, let's go back to homework 3, you have the share button here. And when you click on that, it allows you to copy the sharing the text here, and you can also save it in Gmail, do it over quick save, as well as save it into the drive or send it via Gmail. And that is all for the, oh, and here is the QR, which was moved up inside this hamburger, where you can display the QR code, and this will be connected to the professor's schedule, which would be here. Once the professor has uploaded all their stuff into the calendar, it'll be saved here. You'll be able to go to the display QR code, save that, scan this, and it'll give you a copy of that schedule. Right now, it's still, this one's also just into a blank domain, but I'm going to get that implemented and attached to the actual schedule. And that's everything for the demo. Moving back here, we're going to now check out the GitHub and look at my couple check-ins. So I've done since the last 2 sprints. So the last check-in that I did before this last sprint individual update was in February 5th. So starting from February 10th, this was my commit to actually generate and display the QR code. Here was when I moved the QR into the widget. This was when I restyled the event page and changed the name from events to projects. Here's when I actually implemented the share button for the projects, getting that QR as well as the Gmail connection. And here's when I connected the single and recurring times for all the different projects. And then if we were to go in depth and actually look at some of these, here is the creating single and recurring times for events. So I set this all into the event details, setting in for the recurring days for the days of the week, changing the event just to the widget event to actually get this to actually stay for the event dates. And then here is actually setting the time. So for that clock that you can be able to actually set the times for AM, PM, all of that. And this is for updating the event document with the actual scheduling event. So that's why when it's saved, it gets saved actually inside the Firestore and it gets updated every time you change it. Waiting for the Firestore, collecting the events with the widget.event.id. And yeah, this is just changing a couple things, actually changing just event to actually get the widget because that's what one of the main things I had to change inside to actually get the recurring events to stay. And then if we were to look at another save, which would be, big one would be the event page. So here I changed 7 files, I guess got that done. I had to add in some new packages like Cloud Firestore and actually create the event page. So I had to change some things here to actually get this to be restyled the way it was. I had to create the whole new page for the event details. This was actually the way that you would be able to see the QR as well as the date, the attendees, and how many people can actually keep and store. I had to change different things inside the event manager, including the string ID and getting that to actually save, as well as converting the event to a map for Firestore, because this is what allowed me to actually save all the different events inside the Firestore and keep it updated every time there's a different change or when a new event/project was created. We had to get rid of all of these different code because it was connected to the old style of the projects page, which we didn't actually end up going with. So all of these were not applicable to the app anymore. And that was the code highlights as well as the GitHub check-in. And that's everything that I have to show for this individual sprint update.